passion climbs, we bring you every line. From dirt to asphalt, lights go green. Battle hard, chase the dream. Every lap, every turn. Feel that engine burn. The views and opinions shared on this program belong solely to the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect those of our sponsors, affiliates, or broadcast partners. All right, race fans, let's rev it up!
You've probably seen us all over the racing world and doing a lot of racing designs for events and race teams, but we also do a lot of stuff from small boutiques in small cities all the way up to Fortune 500 companies. Your brand deserves to be seen. We print on more than just shirts, hats, jackets, bags, and much, much more. Custom corporate branding starts here.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to a special Thursday edition, SHIT. So happy it's Thursday edition of everybody's favorite racing talk show, the Revved Sports Show. Showtime, Bobby Chappie right here. The Iceman, Rodney Rodriguez, that is the man there on your left. Yeah, left side of the screen, I believe so. And so we are back here. You're away from your road trip, and I got a studio full of animals, and you got an empty house, and so empty studio for you. So, yeah. It's an interesting day. This should be a fun show with all my clan up in here.
Should be a good day. Should be a good day. Welcome in, friends. Glad to be doing this here once again. Before we get too deep into stuff, I need to ask you, Bobby, do you like sushi?
Nope, I don't eat bait.
I don't.
Closest thing I do to eating bait is shrimp, but it has to be. I can't eat raw shrimp. It's got to be either boiled or.
Yeah, I don't like shrimp or sushi, but I don't like sushi because I've never tried it. And people always tell me, you don't like things that you've never tried. And I got to tell you, I was never a soccer fan, but dude, I'm all into this World Cup. Kind of a downtime a little bit. My Spurs got bounced and my Longhorns got bounced, and there hadn't been a whole lot to check out. And man, I kind of getting that soccer vibe right now going on with the World Cup.
Well,
and that's not even because Team USA is doing well.
The best part for me about the whole World Cup has been watching the reactions of everybody except for the Americans. When you see the Europeans come over here, the Brits and the Germans and some of those guys, they can't comprehend America. It's blowing their mind how much everything is bigger and better, not just in Texas, but in the U.S. as a whole. Like they're getting mesmerized by Walmarts because the shopping centers are so big. They're getting mesmerized by a gas station so big like Buc-ee's. The flyovers, the national anthems and all that stuff. They're not used to that stuff over there.
Well, if they hung around here long enough, they'd probably want to go home. But anyway, I will tell you funny Buc-ee stories. So when I was on the road with the Hot Rod Power Tour last week, we actually saw a lot of people that came in from states that didn't have, whether it be the company I work for, O'Reilly, Buc-ee's, whichever. And I was talking to a guy, I forget where he was from, but he said, I went into an O'Reilly and it's amazing. He said it was neater than Buc-ee's. I've been to Buc-ee's. I'm like, one of those companies pays me, but I got to tell you, I think the Buc-ee's is a little bit cooler, to be honest with you.
Buc-ee's has barbecue sandwiches. You can't buy those on the back road O'Reilly's.
That's right. That's exactly right. You can't get that there.
Superstar batteries and other stuff. Yeah, but you can't buy no barbecue there.
Yeah, O'Reilly don't have cheap cases of beer or anything like that, so but yeah, it really is cool to see what's been going on with the World Cup. I think to me it's kind of a little bit like the Olympics, right? Where it only comes around, every 4 years. And this year I actually invested the time to watch it. And again, soccer athletes I've talked about this in the past, to where it's like, it's just not my sport. I mean, it's just not something that I've ever really focused the attention to learn the game. And not that I know the game now, they're great athletes and everything, but it's just not my cup of tea. But to actually sit here and watch it in this atmosphere is really cool. And I think the timing's good because they're like I said, it's the teams that I support are no longer playing.
Well, the American sports are done other than the US Open, right? Like basketball's done, hockey's done. My NHL, I'm wearing my Golden Knights shirt tonight to show that I'm not a bandwagon fan of the Golden Knights, but all the mainstream Americans are done except for, but
Yeah.
but you're not really. I mean, you're in the middle of the baseball stretch, the summer stretch. A lot of people don't, unless your diehards are paying attention to the teams, but your average baseball fan, they're not concerned with that. They're just watching whatever. So
Yeah. And this is where I go back to, I mean, I haven't seen the actual TV numbers for this or anything for any of these World Cup games, but I can only imagine what the numbers are. And this is where, when we talk about with NASCAR and with mainstream racing around here, to where it's like they're doing a really good job to pull, on a good day it's 3 million or whatever that number is, and it's like these outrageous numbers, and the numbers that we saw for the NBA finals with San Antonio falling to the Knicks, it's like, man, that is major league. That's what you aspire to be. And that's why every time that I see, when some of the like when High Limits gets to be on FS1 and all that, it's a real golden opportunity for them to capture a different kind of market, because it's little things where, like, for instance, with this World Cup thing, to where it's like, I don't know what it was in this. I really got into it even before the USA won their match, and it's like this. It's captivating. It's captivating.
Well, all sports are up. Like, even the Stanley Cup Finals was the most watched Stanley Cup Finals since the early, 2018, 2019, right in there. Let's see here. According to Yahoo Sports, it has been a successful World Cup so far for Fox Broadcasting. From a rating standpoint, Fox Sports is averaging 6.66 million viewers per game across Fox and FS1, up a whopping, here it is, 152% versus the average group stage match in 2022.
Man, and that's, I mean, just think about that. This is random group. I don't know how this thing actually works, but we're just starting out. I mean, nobody's been eliminated. I think as of yesterday, everybody has played a match. Yeah. So now you're getting to the point to where you can go in and pick your favorites, even though
Europeans love it. Don't call it soccer in Europe. I made that mistake. I was in Paris when the World Cup was in Paris, and France was in the semifinals.
Well, and I have to
and
tell
so,
you,
like where they scored, that's all you heard, because they don't have window units in there. They don't have AC in a lot of places over there, so the windows and stuff and doors are open. They scored. You could tell when France scored, because people were going ape nuts over there.
Yeah. And this was only, and I think I'm even more fired up about it now, because I had a work deal last night. It was a real quick meet and greet thing that I did with Oswaldo Sanchez. And when I'm doing something like that, I always kind of try to do a little research, is like, okay, who am I dealing with here? I didn't realize how, massive of a figure this guy is in, like, world soccer. And, like, I meet this dude, and we're sitting there bullshitting last night. And after it was done, we went and had a beer. And I'm like, I'm sitting here having a beer with, like, a world famous person. Yeah, and it was really cool. Yeah, I put this on Facebook last night, where he was calling me a term that some people think is derogatory in some of the Spanish languages, but it's a term of endearment in other countries. And I'm like, I never felt more embraced by being insulted, last night. So anyway, really cool stuff. Looking forward to the Mexico match. I mean, that's going to be tonight. So we'll check that out. But I had to throw that out because I get a lot. I get a lot of shit on the sushi thing, to where it's like, I hate sushi. And people ask, how many times have you had it? I'm like, never. Well, I hadn't watched a lot of soccer.
You ever had poke? That's raw fish.
I've had Poke Joe's barbecue.
No, not the same thing. No, they don't barbecue it. It's big in Hawaii and on the West Coast. Poke is good. It's the way, it's not like sushi, but it's still kind of a raw fish type of deal.
Yeah,
and it's not bad. I had some in Hawaii and then had some here at a Hawaiian joint. So if you got, it's about like everything else. You got to find somebody that knows what they're doing and how to cook it to make it taste good.
In that whole conversation that you just mentioned, all the different things, the one thing that I have had is a Hawaiian joint, and it is damn good. It is damn good. Hey, see,
he's happy.
Where'd you get that dog
when you got
from?
more than one dog.
Where'd you get that dog from? That dog is speaking my language. That dog knows
what
that dog knows what Uncle Ronnie's talking about. Dude, that's radio gold right there. Great program. In a matter of moments, we will have the beautiful Caitlin Leonard join us.
Hold that thought.
I'll fill.
Phil,
We
yeah.
will have the beautiful Caitlin Leonard joining us, talking about some goings on over at Texana Raceway Park, something that her and Cody Tesh are taking on that hopefully is going to work out into something really, really cool with them as they work on an event for the factory stocks. We'll talk about that here momentarily. And then later on, right around the bottom of the hour, we'll talk to Blaine Markgraf. Another big win for him at I-37 Speedway this past weekend. We'll get the lowdown from him on everything that's going on there as well. As always, your live comments, drop them wherever you're checking this out, on YouTube, on the Facebook, on Twitter, whatever. And if you have a question, drop it in there. You have a topic, bring it up, and we'll discuss it right here. Hashtag Real Race Talk. We are live on a Thursday night right here. We said the lovely and yeah, how we doing, friend? Yep, got a little feedback there. Rough. She looks great. Here, Bobby.
All I hear is a bunch of feedback.
Yeah, I don't know if that's on our end or her
Well, she
end.
told me to double check, make sure her microphone was working.
Okay, let's try it again. There she is. We'll drop her off just for a minute, kind of let her re-rack that. She does look great.
Last minute,
Not about that.
last minute. She's a trooper. I text her at 2:00.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what I love is I can see in backstage how everything's going on. She is hauling ass to get to a different location. So yeah, I know that she is on the workout plan as well, and I think she just sprinted probably about 100 yards to get to another place. So we'll let her get set right there to talk about what's going on at Texana Raceway Park. I like this idea, Bobby. You can kind of shed a little thought there. I think that this here is a missing little piece. I think that'll send that little track over the top if this all works out.
Well, I think so. I mean, I think what it is that the drivers, the home base for the home team, and everybody knows that I'm the announcer down there, so I'm slightly biased towards that place, right? But I think what it is that the drivers, some of them, and we kind of thought on this, is that some of the drivers, the local drivers, are getting not really offended, but they're getting concerned that nobody likes to travel, and everybody always says how far Texana is, and how, and all that. So it's kind of not the local drivers are like, look, we got a great place to race. We don't tear up a lot of stuff. Y'all need to come down here. Y'all need to race with us. It's not far. So they got together, going to put up some money. We'll talk to Caitlin about that. But in terms of the money, obviously scheduling wise is a little rough because you've got some of the other tracks that are racing that night that run factory stocks. But I think the thing is that, and I'll, Caitlin will agree, they're not trying to get the points racers from the other tracks to come to Texana. They're going for the guys that like to run for money and the guys that actually like to tour. They're not going to take the point. They're not trying to take the points guys from 37. They're trying to get a good person up there to get a good factory stock race in there so that they can, so we can get more people exposed to Texana. Because as you know, as somebody that's been there recently, the racetrack sells itself.
Yeah. Yeah. Too far to drive to Edna, but people will drive all the way to Boone, Iowa to get eliminated after 2 heat races. Yeah, I get it. All right, there she is again.
Hello.
Beautiful.
Can you hear me now?
Have you been called beautiful this many times, like in a 5-minute span?
No.
Okay, well, you should. How you doing, friend? That was some badass running you were doing in the background there. You were hauling ass.
Yeah, I didn't know where to stand at. Cody was like, well, try there, go try over there. We didn't know.
Oh, great. I'm calling you beautiful, and he's there. All right. Sorry about that.
Hey,
Sorry,
so
Bobby.
Caitlin, one of the things we were talking about is Rodney asked me about this factory stock thing that Cody and you were putting together, mainly Cody, is that it's not a deal where we're trying to get the point chase. We're not trying to get the points leaders and the points chasers from the other tracks that are racing at Cotton Bowl and I-37. The idea is to get the guys that want to travel and the guys that like to race for money, get them to come to Texana so Texana can sell itself, because I was saying that some of the local guys and gals, in your case, they don't understand why people don't want to come to Texana when it's a beautiful facility and there's not a lot of carnage on most nights.
Yes, for sure. I mean, it's kind of hard to schedule a a race with everybody racing. I mean, it seems like every time that we race, all the other tracks race at the same time. So it kind of sucks that those cars can't come down, but hopefully we can get some cars. Even people that are even up north. I mean, they travel all the way to Boot Hill for 10,000, and it's guaranteed 2,500 and $100 to start and 1,000 for second. So we're just trying to get more cars down to Texana to see how the facility is, because that track is amazing. They've done a ton of upgrades, and once the cars get there, they're like, oh, this track is amazing. The facilities are amazing. It's beautiful here. And they just don't see it. It's just a hidden gem, like everybody says. So we're just trying to get more cars out there.
Yeah, Caitlin, and I think the other part of that too is where when you talk about Texana, it really seems like with the group that runs the place and the promoting team and all of that, it's just so solid, and they do really cool things for you guys, the racers. I think that's the one thing where if you can hook these big hitters in and get them to come show up one time, this may not be the first time this happens.
Yes, for sure. That's why Cuddy had that. I mean, he had the idea last weekend to do the free pit passes for any new factory stock drivers, because he was like, let's try to get more cars down here, because he don't like racing against only 5 or 6 cars. We wanted to get more cars down there and have some good racing. And at least we had, I think, 4 new cars that we had to pay for that showed up. And we also had Mark Wright with Longhorn Liquor pay for the limiteds, and then Chris Workman for the E-mods, and then Tony Blankenship did the hobby stock for the pit passes. So it turned out good. I mean, I was hoping we'd have more cars, but 4 was better than none.
Yeah.
This was the amount of guys and gals that were coming in from 105 that decided that they wanted to come in, because obviously it's hard to get the 105 crowd to come in because they race every week. It's like trying to pull the Waco cars down on a Saturday night because they race every week on Friday. But I think like you said, like we were talking about it after the race. The best compliment, the worst compliment that Texana ever got is it's the best kept secret in Texas racing.
Yes,
and I think that is definitely a detriment to not to the facility itself. I'm not trying to say anything negative about the facility, but that's not a good thing. That it's the best kept secret. It doesn't need to be a secret anymore. It needs to have people come down and race it, because it's a hell of a place.
Yes, yeah, for sure. And that's the 105 guys. I think Michael Downey and Jason McCool, I think is his name. They're the ones that were going to help us and help sponsor with this 2,500, because they wanted to see more cars down here as well.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So kind of talk about that part, Caitlin, with this coming up, 2,500 to win, $1,000 for second at this point, very early on, July 11th. Kind of talk about some of the other folks that have kind of stepped up here, because hobby stock's extremely good. I mean, you look at E-mods and all those different things. Kind of talk about how the idea came about and people that are already stepping up, other than those folks that you're talking about at this point.
Yeah, so after the feature race, Cuddy was just talking about, like, he really wanted to put on a big show, and he's like, maybe we can get sponsors like how Tony's been doing for his Fireball race. And so we just started messaging all of our friends and posting online if anybody wants help. So we got Michael Downey to help out. We got Tony's Mobile Home Service, Mickey's Auto Repair, Eric Sauls, if I'm saying that right, Bud Jenkins with TECC Spray Foam, Steven Smallwood, he's actually the one that built our race cars, the Flying Four Fabrication, Window Pros of Texas, Wade and Mark Wright, they own Longhorn Liquor. Tanner Barrows with Obsidian Research. Anthony and Ashley with Awesome Cleaning Services. They're the ones that come to our races every weekend and pit for us and help us out in the pits. Zach and Amanda Freeman, and then Chase and Whiskers Catfish Tournament. They help sponsor this race as well.
Absolutely.
And we're still looking for more as well.
Well, hey, Rodney, you don't know this yet, but Caitlin helped me out with a sponsorship deal we're working on for the big Fireball race coming up July the 25th. The Revved Up Sports Show is doing a twofer. We're going to be donating some Fireball, age permitting, of course. We're going to be donating a bottle of Fireball to the winner and a bottle of Fireball to last place.
Nice.
So we are working on trying to work that out with the gang over at Longhorn Liquor there in Hallettsville. So we figured the winner would want to celebrate and the last place would want to drink his sorrows away. So that's why we're doing a unique first and last. You heard it here first. Caitlin knows about it, but I hadn't even told you about it yet.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I like that. I like that a lot. So Caitlin, the thoughts with, especially right now, I know that there's some things going on with the race ranch. I know that they're dealing with trying to get get everything back together. I think this really is a good time for Texana, especially with an event like this, to kind of to push the factory stocks, because as great as they are everywhere else, that they are kind of low out there in Edna.
Yes, and I'm hoping we can get more Corpus cars. It seems like Corpus cars don't really like to travel, but I'm hoping since their cars, their racetrack ain't racing for a couple months, maybe they'll come down to our track and help us out and have some good racing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in terms of the race format itself, I mean, we're just looking at, I mean, that's still to be determined, right? We're just going to kind of work on number of laps and format and all that. We're still working with Cord and Monty to figure all that out, right?
Yes. So Cody and I are doing where we find sponsors to do the 2,500 for the win, which I think we already have. And then Cord is helping out with 1,000 and then everything else down. Plus, I mean, most people don't know, but anytime that Texana has 18 or more factory stocks, it's guaranteed 1,000 to win. So if the cars show up, that's all. I mean, it's guaranteed 1,000 to win. And it's crazy because most tracks will get 23 or 20 of them, and they still just race for $300. So I'm hoping people will start seeing that, and we can start getting some more cars.
Yep. So, Caitlin, I do want to ask you, I know we're talking about the Factory Stock Showdown, but you with a little bit of double duty going on the last time out on the racetrack, kind of talk about that. How does that look like? A couple of top fives for you the other night.
It was awesome. The Factory Stock, we fixed up some more problems, just trying to tweak on it because Cuddy, it was fast, but we wanted to work on it some more. And last weekend showed it. I was running second for most of the feature until my right rear blew out. The valve stem came out, and then got the tire fixed, got back up to fourth. And then the hobby stock, Tony asked if I would drive it because I've been trying to run it in a raffle and I still haven't. And got to drive it, and hopefully that wasn't my last time. I'm ready to drive it again.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. That's why we both ended up, Caitlin, we both ended up texting Monty that you were going to be on. He reminded me and posted in the live chat that the annual registration fee is waived that night too for the factory stock. So there's really no excuse for a factory stock guy that's not battling for his own points championship to come down and try out Texana. You've got the money on the line. You've got a free registration waived. I mean, it's a no-brainer to show up down there in Edna, Texas on the 11th.
Yes, for sure.
And I actually think, even to that, I don't want to start any shit here, but kind of just what Bobby's talking about right there, point championships and all that. These people find ways to get these cars fixed. They go out and wipe stuff out and they come back to their track the next week. Caitlin, why don't you lay a challenge out right here to folks as you're out there? What are you coaching a game or something? What are you doing out there?
No. Cody likes to eat crawfish, and today was the only day he ate crawfish, so we're outside and out here.
Yeah, we may be losing her right there. Anyway, I was hoping that she could lay down a challenge right here and get these folks. You guys up north, come on up. Listen to this lady. Come on up and try to win some money. Come on down south.
I think that's the best thing. Like I said, the track sells itself. And, I try to be impartial as I can on the show, but when it comes to my home track, I try to defend it. And, it's no doubt about it that I try to do the best I can to make the track the best it can be. So,
yeah, absolutely. And that really is the thing to where I do think, because I do totally get, I do totally get the whole thing with not wanting to travel, not wanting to risk a championship and this, that, and the other. But there's other times to where it's like, just go do it. Go do it. It's good money.
Because technically gas prices are going down now.
Well, and I think the thing where this is bigger for some of the South guys. Are you going to get Dalton Faulkner? Are you going to get Neil Kemp? Are these guys going to show up? I don't know. It's a great effort that's being put together, but those are the ones that chase those huge purses. But some of the ones down south, Cotton Bowl guys, I-37 guys, come on out. Come on out and try it. I think we got her, so we might be able to get her one more time in here. There she is.
Are you there?
Haley?
Yeah,
there you go. Now we can hear you.
We got you.
Technology, right?
Yeah, maybe we don't have her.
Yes.
That's okay. That's all right. Caitlin, thank you, dear. Dear, sound like her dad over here. We will catch up with you. We will do this again, hopefully before, and get more details as it continues to work out. So the thing will be contact Cody or contact Caitlin. I mean, that's going to be the way that you can be a part of this, especially if you're down south.
I mean, worst comes to worst, get with me and I will get you in touch with them too.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. Right there. That's the whole thing about it. If you're looking to do something like that, be a part of that, and kind of keep diving in. I think this can be really big. And honestly, for me, I'm excited for you guys at the track, because it seems like that is the one class that kind of, well, limited modifieds and all that one does struggle. But I think this could be pretty big. I think it could be.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen the concept work very well with the fireballs. That Fireball Spectacular they did back on May 9th. But on the plus side, there was no other track racing that weekend. That's another reason why they picked July the 9th, Fireball Spectacular Part 2, because that was one of the original rain dates for the original Fireball race. And it was such a success with, I call it grassroots promoting, if you will, where you got Tony, who decided he was going to put up a lot of his own money. And then he got people to that they wanted to do the race as well, and then you got a pretty substantial purse, that pays really great for a fireball race. I mean, I think there were 24 that showed up. I think 26, but 2 broke.
Yeah,
and so it's an opportunity that race is coming back up again, and a lot of the people that raced the fireballs, yes, committed to 37. Yes, they're committed to the race ranch. But a lot of people said the same thing. It was the first time they visited Texana, and they loved the place.
Yeah.
Like I said, the track ends up selling itself. Best bathrooms in the state of Texas. They're not quite as nice as Buc-ee's, but for racetrack bathrooms, they're pretty damn nice.
Oh, man, you're going to piss off Marianne. The next time you see Cotton Bowl Speedway, man, they're probably going to have, like, granite countertops in there. When you start saying shit like that. Tile floors at Cotton Bowl Speedway. The Battle of the Bathrooms is what's coming up. All right, friends, great stuff right there from Caitlin Leonard. We will kind of follow up. And again, like Bobby said, that was a last minute deal right there. As you could tell, she was out in the middle of stuff. So thanks to her for joining in. Stick around, friends. Coming up, we're going to talk to Blaine Markgraf, one of the really badass young drivers right here in South Texas. But before that, a word from a couple of folks that help make this program possible. Of course, our friends at On Demand Shirts and My Race Pass. Stick around, more coming up.
Why is branded apparel so important for your company? Well, because a shirt or even a hat that has your brand on it gets worn to grocery stores, baseball games, or even family reunions. The impressions are endless and they last years. Contact us today so we can help elevate your company.
Welcome to the My Race Pass app, the #1 app for motorsports fans. We want to make sure you get the most out of your My Race Pass app experience. With your new free account, you can use the My Race Pass app to see race day information, including event entries and official lineups and results for over 600 organizations across North America. You can also see track information and purchase online event tickets for select tracks. With your free account, you can also search for a track or series on the My Race Pass app and favorite their profile to receive news and race day notifications on your mobile device. To see more information and to see which app subscription is best for you, be sure to visit getmrpapp.com. My Race Pass, the ultimate racing resource.
Thursday edition of #Real Race Talk. It is the Revved Up Sports Show. Showtime, Bobby Chaffee, Rodney Rodriguez, all of you, your live comments, keep them coming. We'd love to talk about the stuff that you want to talk about. That's what this program is all about. Caitlin Leonard joining us in the first segment to talk about the goings on there on the 11th coming up. Hopefully a huge one for the factory stocks.
Fireball's 1,500 to win as of now. Could be
Nice.
more depending on sponsorship, but then once again, the track guarantees any class with 18 or above gets 1,000 to win automatically. So, and an increase for second and third.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Speaking of fireballs, let's go back to the hotline. Let's talk to a dude that's been taking care of business in the fireballs. It is our man, Blaine Markgraf. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Doing well, man. So I have to tell you, this is really cool for me. I don't know if you know this or not, but before we dive into what you're doing, I kind of want to chase the family tree because I know there's different families in there, racing families out y'all's way. But my dad raced with Danny. I raced with Dwayne. I don't have any children to race with you, but kind of talk about the history of the Markgrafs right there, man. Goes way back, way back.
Yeah, it definitely goes way back. My dad raced, pretty much my whole dad's side raced, my mom's side raced. So yeah, I'm just trying to keep it going, trying to keep that family tree going.
Absolutely.
Well, you got to let the cat out of the bag. Who's your mom's side? You can
Yeah,
tell
talk
people here.
about
Yeah,
that
talk
OPL
talk
side.
about that side. They got some heavy
So,
hitters on that side of the world too.
So my great uncle was Donnie Hiroka, my grandpa was Paul, and if anybody knew like Tex Horn and all them, that's my mom's side.
I didn't know that part. I didn't know the Tex Horn part, man. So
Yes,
so
sir.
there's no freaking way you weren't going to race. There was no way, right?
Yes, sir. I grew up watching my uncle and my dad and my cousin, and I knew that was something from the start that I wanted to do and carry on.
Blaine, so what are some of your first memories of actually going to the track, like actually remembering things that were going on before you were driving?
I remember being at the track and always watching my dad, my uncle, and my cousin Wade Jones, like I said, and
Oh, shit.
I knew it was something I always wanted to do, and I always told my dad I wanted to race. And one day when we were at South Texas Race Ranch, it was South Texas Speedway at the time. My mom and dad left the track because the whole family was there, and they came back with the go-kart. And that was my first go-kart. I asked my grandpa, where did my mom and dad go? And he said they went to go get lunch. So when they came back, I said, where's lunch? And they said, we didn't go to get lunch. And I said, well, where'd y'all go? And they said, well, look in the back of the truck. And that was my first go-kart.
That's a hell of a meal right there.
Yes, sir.
I say, well, you were probably pissed that you didn't get lunch, right? That'd have been
I was a little mad because
what's the go-kart for? I'm hungry.
I was a little mad because they said they were getting Whataburger and I wanted a chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah. Oh, no damn go-kart. Give me a number 2. Give me a double meat.
Because with them kids' meals, they always got a sugar cookie or chocolate chip cookie. And that's what I wanted when they said Whataburger.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. So from that point, you got the go-kart. How long did you do that? And what was the first thing that you jumped into when you got into a big car?
I started racing go-karts when I was 4. And I've won 11 or 12 championships in the go-karts. And when I was 13, I jumped in the Camaro. And yeah, that's how it all started. When I was 11, me and my dad picked up a Monte Carlo from Lance and Dylan Gaither. And I was going to start in that, but that one it didn't really work out. And we ended up with the Camaro.
Yeah.
So tell us about your recent success with the class that you're running, because we've been mentioning that class hot and heavy because of the big race coming up that you guys had down at Texana back in May, and the big race coming up in July, on July the 25th. Talk about that.
Yes, sir. The Fireballs have definitely grown, have turned into a big class. We've got a lot of competition, and just been trying to chase some wins and trying to go back-to-back championships this year.
So what is it for you, Blaine, that with the Fireballs, I think for me, the reason I find it appealing, if I were going to get to race, I think I'd like to drive a Fireball, just the horsepower with all of that. Kind of talk about that part. Those seem like asphalt cars to me, which I know a lot of them are asphalt cars, but kind of talk about that part. They just seem like a whale of a time to get behind the wheel of.
Well, my car is actually an old asphalt car from San Antonio and Thunder Hill Speedway. So, yeah, my car came from asphalt, and yeah, just been trying to chase some wins. And Texana was definitely.
Don't know. Oh, you were cutting out. Sorry. So talk about that car itself, not necessarily just your car. Talk about the Fireball. We talked to Ray about it a little bit a couple of weeks ago when he was on about how the class got started. But as somebody that races that class, explain that class for somebody new that might be listening on the East Coast that has no idea what a Fireball is.
So fireballs, as Chris Workman once said, they're basically the evolution of street stocks.
Hmm.
We don't have much motor rules or limitations, but they're basically a dirt street stock with a few minor limitations.
Yeah. Yeah. And with those, are you guys, I should know this, but are you guys tires? I mean, I know a lot with the factory stocks. They say the savings is in the tires with the pull offs. Is there an option for you guys? I know the motor's pretty open. What tire can you guys run or not run?
We can run the American racers and the Hoosiers, and we like you said, we run the asphalt pull offs.
Oh, wow.
We can run the F70s and the F90s.
Damn.
Wow.
I like that.
Yeah, the Fireballs are looking better and better every time we talk about them, don't they?
Yes, sir.
So talk about Texana, man. How much fun did you guys have down there? And was that your first trip down to Edna, Texas, for that race for the Fireballs?
So I've raced go-karts at Texana a couple times. I've won a couple times in the go-karts. That was my first race in the big car at Texana and an actual race car. And I had a blast. It was definitely a fun track. And I'm looking forward to the July race.
Blaine, so the rest of the year for you, obviously there with the 6 car there, with the Fireball. Any other opportunities coming up for you, whether it be in a sport mod, anything like that that you'll be doing this year, or at this point just finishing out in that car right there that we just pulled up?
So in this car, not really. I mean, we plan on making the trip to Corpus, to South Texas Race Ranch, the next chance we get. And yeah, gonna go there and hopefully have a good result at Texana in July. It's kind of risky, going and traveling other tracks while you're chasing a championship at your home track, but it's fun traveling.
Yeah, kind of talk about that, because we were just talking about that with Caitlin Leonard, with the factory stock race that they're looking to put on there at Texana. How does that factor in? If you want to win a championship, is that based on scheduling? It's like, if I go to this race that's not at my home track, if stuff gets tore up, I'm going to have X amount of time to fit. Do you factor all that in? Is it the purse? I mean, where does the travel part come in, like for you guys with your family, where it's like, okay, screw it, we're going on the road? How do you guys maneuver that plan?
You definitely have to take in a factor, like, do we want to take this risk and go run here while we're fighting for a championship here, or we just, yeah, you got to take into factor all that, and is it worth the risk, and is the purse worth the risk? But it's fun. Sometimes it's worth the risk, sometimes it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's usually hindsight, right? Like, it's worth the risk if you go down and run well. It wasn't worth the risk if you end up bending a clip.
Right.
So talk about the appeal of the travel, right? I mean, you traveled around with a go-kart, and your family's been around racing forever, and you got to travel with them when you were a kid. Is it the same feeling that you had as a kid, or is it a little bit more surreal because they're traveling with you now?
It's a little bit more surreal. I mean, I definitely still have those feelings I did as a kid, but it's definitely more surreal, being the one driving, being in a big car now, and doing the things I always wanted to do and looked up to when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm. Ultimate goal for you at this point in your career, Blaine? I truly think the Fireball is the new badass division down here in South Texas. I mean, I truly believe that. Do this for a few more years? Do you ultimately want to get in a modified? Or are you looking to maybe relocate and go to pavement? Kind of what are you thinking at this point? You're a very young dude. I mean, that's the other part about it. Thoughts on any of that stuff?
So I'm definitely going to stay in the Fireballs for a couple of years. I want to eventually, if I get the chance, run factory stocks and I actually just got an asphalt car. So me and my dad are gonna start that soon and see how that goes. Gonna try that too.
Nice.
Oh,
Nice.
back that family tree back on asphalt. Oh boy, look out! That's gonna be a barn burner right there, Rodney. That's gonna be a lot of fun for Blaine and that group.
I take that. I would definitely take that. Um, Shoot, lost my train of thought. Rest of the year. So like we said, just finishing out here. Any other stuff? Any additional travel? I know that it's really hard with this class. You can't really take this car out of state. I mean, it's a very specific to our part of the country. Any thoughts on any of that for the balance of 2026?
We're really just trying to make it through this year and end up top three, end up hopefully to pull this championship off again this year. You know, like you said, I mean, it's hard to go run other places because we can only run I-37 and South Texas Race Ranch, other than the races that Texana has been holding for us. But when we get the chance to take this car somewhere else, we definitely take it.
Absolutely.
All right, I got one last question for you, and it's a question we ask the younger racers sometimes. And with your family lineage, there's a special number related to that side of the world with the number 41. How'd you end up with number 6 instead of number 41 out of that deal? Was that a family number for your dad's side?
No, so my dad was number 4. Well, my dad had a lot of different numbers. But back to that story of that first go-kart, when they came back with that go-kart, there's a piece of lead. There was a piece of lead by the seat, and it had number 6 on it, and there was one behind the seat, and it had number 6 on it. And my dad said, "You want to change your number?" And I said, "No, I want to leave it." And I've been 6 since.
Nice. I like that.
Interesting way. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, we used to have to put the
Yeah.
numbers on there. That way, if your lead fell out, they would know where to return it.
Right.
I don't know if that's still, but I remember Danny, and I remember 82. I remember number 82. I think Dwayne, when I raced with, I think he was 3, if I'm not mistaken. So those numbers kind of bounce around. Numbers kind
Yeah,
of
my dad's been both. He's been 82, he's been 3, he's been 4. Yeah, he's had a bunch of different numbers. I've
Yeah.
tried to change mine to 4 a couple of times. When I was younger, I wanted to be like him, and I tried asking him. I wanted to change it to number 4, especially when I started racing flat carts. When I got my
Yeah.
first flat cart, I wanted to put 4 on it. And he convinced me to stay with 6 because that's what I've been known as, is the number 6. So I've been 6 since.
Makes it nice when you start getting like apparel, because it's like if
Right.
you change number, then you got to get new shirts, you got to get
Yes,
new
sir.
caps, you got to
Right.
get all that. Talk about Christine. Talk about I mean, when you have somebody like that, I mean that's just that support from the female side. I think a lot of times is just so undersold, where they're really the backbone of this thing, because we dudes are out doing what we do, and a lot of times we don't even think about them. And they're kind of the ones that are keeping the household rolling. They're all of that. Kind of talk about the importance of the mom in this case.
Right. She's definitely the backbone, and she's definitely there when I have a bad race and I get out and I'm full of disappointment, or I'm beating myself down, and she's always there to, "Hey, that was a good race. Why are you mad?" And I tell her why. She's like, "Well, that's part of it." So she's definitely the backbone and the reason that I'm here where I'm at today.
Yes, sir.
Well, dude, best of luck coming up for your championship chase there at I-37. I'm hoping I
Thank
will
you.
see you down there at Texana there on the 25th. I think I saw from some of your mom's Facebook posts, y'all were really looking forward to going back down there. And who knows, maybe when you go down on the 25th, we'll get to talk again at the end of that race, right there on
Yes,
the front
sir.
stretch right next to the flag stand with a
Yes,
couple of
sir.
trophies and some checker flags.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
All right, Blaine. Appreciate the time, my man. We'll talk to you soon, brother. Keep
Yes,
on
sir.
keeping on, dude. Doing a hell
Yes,
of a
sir.
job.
Thank you.
Yep, you bet. There he is, Blaine Markgraf. I didn't know the Tex Horn part.
I neither.
I was thinking about that when I was driving home today from Houston. I was like, okay, I know, like I was talking about with Danny Markgraf. I mean, I remember him racing with my dad, and like I was talking about with Dwayne, and then with the Opiellas, I remember Marco Piella, I remember, Wade Jones, and of course the Harelkas and all that. But when he threw that out there, but it makes sense because I remember Tex Horn as 41, and man, I learned something. I think that I know a lot about history, but God damn it, they threw me off this time. Shit, learned something.
Aren't you glad I asked the intriguing questions?
Yeah, I really am. I really am because, Tex Horn, that's one of the first racers I remember as a kid because we'd see him in Austin and, then obviously at San Antonio. So, yeah.
Because he was the promoter there, right, with Torres, wasn't he?
No, that was Joe Horn.
Okay.
Joe Horn.
Okay, different horns.
Yeah, that was Horne. Yeah, that was Joe Horn. Now, if you really want to trace things back, you had where Joe Horn, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Frank Torres, I think Johnny's dad, the late Frank Torres, I think he worked for Joe Horn, whether it be at Paget's at the car dealership, or I don't remember how all that works out, but I think that as you go back and stretch all this around, we'd have to ask Johnny Torres, but I think that's how that factors in too, to where the Torres and Joe Horn, Horne, kind of factor in as well. Oh, riddle me this. So I was going back because having been on the road, I was trying to go back and catch all the different races. Was I wrong in the way that I was watching this, or was Johnny Torres at two tracks in one night? Because I was watching Cotton Bowl, and they were and I saw where Johnny Torres had the incident and hit the tire, and then I flipped it over to 37, and they were talking about Johnny Torres racing, I think, in a late model. Was that dude at two places at one time, or
I have no idea. I don't think so. I mean, it's hard to keep track because we were racing, but
yeah.
Unless he got mad and left the track during the heat race and went back home and got into a late model, which is possible if he tore it up enough in the heat race.
Well, if he did, that's where I can, and this is my answer to Johnny, where he posted, on Facebook, where he said, "Is this really worth it?" If he did that, it's not worth it. It is not worth it. And there's Christine checking in. Tex Horn was my grandma's brother, Carol Harelka's brother. Paul Harrell. Okay, I got it. Now we got the family. Okay. That's
old school San Antonio tonight.
I got it, and that's where. God damn it! I thought I knew all these links, but there you go. Never too late to learn. Never too late to learn. And see, that's why you listen to the show, because you could check in just like that when we start talking about stuff. You can be a part of it right here with us, and that's San Antonio.
Obviously, the show's live because we wouldn't be having a show live that most people would cut out when see a dog crap behind them. Not us. We keep it live. Right. Just like that second or third show we ever did. Remember when the banner fell off and hit us in the head?
Oh, yeah.
Like second or third show we ever did. And the banner behind us fell off and hit us on the top of the head.
And
you would 10 years ago.
and you wouldn't see Caitlin Leonard live at the soccer field on any other show. I'm assuming soccer field or baseball field. I don't know where she was, but that's why we do this, and that's why we do it in the manner that we do it. I did want to throw something out, and folks, and again, if you catch us on a replay, just on the Facebook page, where I think is usually people catch a lot of the replays, or on YouTube, probably more on Facebook, but underrated drivers. I mean, we talk to a lot of and the reason that this came up, where I was thinking about this, was because Chris Buescher re-signed with RFK, and to me, Chris Buescher is a very underrated driver. Where he doesn't have all the pizzazz, he doesn't talk a lot of shit, he doesn't do whatever.
He's the only guy to beat SVG heads up on a road course.
Right. He just takes care of business, and I was thinking about that, whether it be around here, any part of the state, or anywhere. Underrated drivers, in your opinion. I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot right here. Is there anyone that kind of pops to mind for you, because you're more in the middle of it now than I am? So I see names, I see different things. Kind of any thoughts there?
I mean, I'd have to think about it to be really fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that it becomes, for me, on that level, is not so much underrated skill wise, is somebody that does what they can with the equipment they have. We've seen guys that are not very good have great equipment and be good.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen guys that are not in great equipment make the equipment great and been good. So as far as like being underrated, I think you got to kind of, in my mind, you have to look at those factors. just to kind of determine underrated. I think that you got a couple there at Cotton Bowl that make a difference during some of that stuff. I've always thought that Honish and the 777. I've always thought he was a very underrated guy with the championships and stuff that he won various tracks around Central Texas. So underrated guy. National scale wise, I mean, I think that you've got. I mean, to me, it's polarizing, but to me, a guy that's still very underrated in this whole deal is Stephen Nasse.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he's underappreciated and always kind of, because he's going up against Bubba Pollard, Casey Roderick, and some of those guys. But I think he's still underrated for the stuff he's been able to do. Yes, he's got badass equipment. He's got, but so do all those other guys too.
It seems like to me what's always happened with Stephen Nasse, and that's a great call right there. It seems like we've seen it. Man, I'm just going to say in the last 10 to 12 years to where Stephen Nasse, right where he's at the point where he's really about to, just blow the doors off of this thing. Something happens, whether it be, a car builder change or whatever the case. And something always happens right when he's about to break through that glass ceiling. And that's because it's really the same thing with him to where it's like you watch him where he's doing a lot with less, like you were talking about, where he's back to the family owned or doing a lot of this stuff out of his pocket. Then he gets another opportunity. Then something happens, and then it kind of falls apart. Kind of like Ross Chastain would run into. Is kind of where I can kind of acclimate him to at this point, to where it's like he's this close and something happens to where it just doesn't work out.
Yeah, I think that he's close. I mean, I think the campy thing kind of changed him around a little bit. That I think was able to kind of change them a little bit, right? He's kind of a checkers to wreckers kind of guy to a certain extent, just because the way that he likes to kind of likes to race. But I also think that checkers to wreckers, that's a unique way to look at it. I mean, that's the way that Collie looks at it in the Trucks and Cup. I mean, they often say they're trophy chasers. I mean, obviously what they've been able to do, basically flying blind, I thought they did exceptional.
And I think a lot of where, when it comes to pavement racing, where we get these underrated guys, if we want to call it underrated, is to me, it happens with the guys up north. To where, lost Bobby there for a second, but there he is back. To where it's the guys up north simply because there's not the fanfare of UARA or of ASA stars or any of that. To where, because look at all the guys that we've talked to on this program that Phil would line up for us. I mean, when you look at some of those guys that race at Slinger or all these different places, they're not going to get all the notoriety of Bubba Pollard or of any of those guys, and they just fucking dominate. And they race,
and they put. You're not watching. It's almost customary for me to, when the cup races and stuff are done on Sunday afternoon, about 6:30, I'm flipping on the streamer and I'm watching Slinger.
Yeah,
because they have badass late model races out there. They have badass super late model racers, and they usually put on a pretty good show. You posted the video the other day. Of course, I wouldn't do it because it would tear up my track. But where they tried to come around and the winner jumps on that trailer, that moving trailer.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, Slinger's great. I love watching races from Slinger.
Yeah. The up north, I mean, they definitely, and not a slight at any. Yeah, not a slight at any of our Gulf Coast tracks whatsoever. But when you look at everything that goes on up there, and I mean, look at these DJ Shaw. I mean, this list just goes on and on and on. I mean, look, Ty Majeski is a guy from up north, and you look at him. I think you could kind of throw him into that too. I think if Ty Majeski raced based out of Florida, but again, Ty Majeski's a NASCAR type guy. But let's just say that Ty Majeski raced every race with Ricky, raced every race with Tim Bryant. We would know a lot more in the short track stuff, I think, about Ty Majeski.
Well, he did for a while. I mean, he ran the World Series.
Right. Right,
know.
but
He had to run the World Series to get noticed in the South because that's the guys that get all the pub.
yeah, and that's what's his name from California?
Derek Thorne.
Derek Thorne. I mean, Derek Thorne was over there busting his ass, winning all these races. We didn't really know a lot about him till he started coming to Pensacola.
Yeah,
And
when he
that's where
started smoking their ass and qualifying and then smoking their ass. I mean, he whooped their ass, went belt to ass that 1 year at the Derby, and then I got upended by Ty Majeski at race.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, he went, I
Yeah.
mean, that was the year you and I kept, and it was so fast. That race was so fast.
Yeah.
Because you and I were
Yeah.
just looking at each other. We're like, he's gone belt to ass on the best super late model drivers in the country. Dominated that damn race. And then
and that's where it's so weird to me to where I don't anything that I think of California, I don't think of as regional, but it really does seem like their short track stuff when it comes to some of the pavement stuff. It really doesn't have the national grasp that you would think it would, because so much is over on the right coast, and then the north stuff. I mean, is just amazing. So many underrated, if we want to call it. If you're looking at pound per pound, you know, starts versus wins racers. Shit, you go up north, it's gonna blow the numbers away from any of these guys that we think are dominating in these parts.
I really, the Money in the Bank, I think, is a race that kind of showcases that, right? You've got a couple of guys from the South pulling up north, and then you got the North guys holding their own, and then you got a couple of interloper cup guys coming down there.
Yeah,
with Hocevar trying to at his original home track. So I think, you know, I love races like that, like especially when some of the races end up going, when they start running the Stars National race at Slinger. That's a barn burner, because you got the best of the best in the South going against the best of the best in the North. And that's on a little bitty ass quarter mile. That's fantastic.
And that's why I think that the year that Bubba went up north and won, to me, that was a bigger damn deal than a lot of people made it out to be, because that was, you know, it was like, okay, the dominator from the South came down and, you know, wins, because he wins everywhere. He don't win up north. You don't just roll up into that territory and win like he did that year. To me, that was one of the things that I think was not. I don't think people really felt the effect that I did when he went and did that, because I'm like, okay, that's a big freaking deal there. Because I think a lot of people looked at that where Bubba went and won that race, and they're like, exactly the topic that we're talking about. It's like, we don't know any of these people. It's like, well, you should know those people, because those are some of the best racers in the country.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I think that it's. I think it kind of by where you're at, the coverage. I mean, I think that obviously for some reason, and I don't know why, I think it's just because, because we're in the region, the Southeast gets all the super late model coverage, all of it. You know, whether or not the guys up north won't admit it or not, they get all the coverage. All the pub, they got it. You don't get a lot of people talking about the northern stuff till you get to the Milk Bowl, the Vermont 200. What the hell, the big race that I can't even think of, Oxford 250.
Oxford 250. That one
there. That one's when you get the North guys, all the pub that they want, and you know, you get a couple of Southern interlopers. And the South, I mean, you got a guy that's a kick-ass driver, top-notch racer like Casey Johnson, and he comes down to the Derby, and he's in a last chance showdown, last chance qualifier. That would end up being an main all-star race any other night, any other racetrack around the country. Yeah. And an all-star race that's a last chance race at the Snowball Derby.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And that's where I do like when you're able to get them all together. And that's why I think it would be really cool, where I've had the crazy idea, but I know it'll never happen, because we know that with asphalt super late model racing, and even the pros at this point, to where everything's just so discombobulated, to where you could have something to where somehow the four corners could meet in the middle of the country somewhere, based on performance. And I think if the performance model was built, and again, it's way out of my pay grade to figure out what the performance model would be, you know, percentages of wins versus percentages of starts and all that, to where you had a true asphalt super late model kind of race of champions type thing. There'd be a lot of guys from up north. I think there would be a hell of a lot of guys from up north.
So I think it'd be a hell of I mean, it used to be that way. Think about it 25 years ago.
The All-American 400, that's what that was.
That's what it was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the North and the South, was the original concept of the All-American 400. But think back in the day, though, when ASA, the original ASA tour was there, that's where from in the late 80s, early 90s. That's where everybody was coming. Your Johnny Bensons, your Rusty Wallaces, your Kenny Wallaces.
Jim Slaughter.
They were all coming from that old school ASA deal because they got that TV. They paid out nose to get in. And it worked because those races were badass. I have a Butch Miller diecast sitting behind me that you can't see because it's not on the right shelf yet. An old Liberty Ford Quality Care diecast, number 52. Those were badass races back in the day.
Yep. And that's where, like, even like with All Pro, which was kind of the South version of that, to where, I mean, they never graduated the amount of people out of that, to where, like, I think probably one of the most from those days, one of the most synonymous names that you would revert back to Bob Harmon's All Pro would be Jody Ridley. And I've had folks ask me, it's like, why didn't Jody Ridley ever, make it to the next level? And Jody Ridley actually had already been at that level.
He ran for Junie Donlevy.
Yeah, he won the Mason-Dixon 500 in 1981, I think it was. But then by the time you think of those glory days of All Pro, he was back at that level, and racing the Darrell Browns and the Daniel Keens and Freddie Fryer and those guys,
Gary to where Ballou during his distance between sentences, if you will.
yeah, exactly. And we can say that because he's our buddy. So, and that's
a show we got to repost.
Well, we need to Gary Ballou. I'd like to get him back on here again, because the thing is, it's like Gary told me one time, he and I were taking shots on a golf cart during a rain delay at Pensacola. And he's like, Meskin, that's what he called me, I didn't tell you half the shit that I wanted to tell you. So it's like, yeah, maybe we'll get him back on.
At some point, maybe it'll be me, maybe it'll be you. At some point, we are going to digitize the digital archives and put them up so everybody can listen to the old Was This show about 5 or 6 years ago with all the NASCAR Hall of Famers and legends that used to come.
Well, still great. It's still great.
It's still great. But people don't. The new people don't know about all the old people.
Well, I told you all of that thing is it's safeguarding, just in case for somehow I never come back from a trip. You know where it's at. You know who to contact. Yeah. Because it's got your name on it. It's had your name on it for a long time. So apparently I've been planning my death for a long time because it says 4 BC.
It's the only thing I inherit out of this whole show.
It's starting to fade. Well, no, you'll get all the gear, but it's like starting to fade. So I'm like, oh shit, I had to actually go back over it, so it could be comprehended what it was all about. Yeah. But yes,
at some point I gotta go. One of us, I gotta hire somebody. Maybe Kayla can help us. Yeah, Freckles can help us digitize all of that, put it on the webpage.
The thing is, though, with a lot of that, there's no video. Because when we did that, it's just a matter of getting some sound files hooked up. But yeah, super cool stuff right there. But yeah, underrated drivers. And we can re-talk about that next week. Give you folks a little bit of time to compress all that. Right at the 7:00 hour, a good time right now to jump in and take a look at our man, Sugar Sean Folsom, always on the move, always doing things. The Sean Folsom photography photo of the week that our man right here on staff always comes up with some good ones. Take a look at this right here. And Bobby, is there not a better exhibition of when we talk about Cotton Bowl Speedway being fast and wide? That's in a turn. There's 4 cars. He sent me that and he said 4 wide. I said 4.
Yeah,
had to look.
I only see 3.
Yeah, I know the Colton Birmingham car's in there. So you've got
Oh,
up on
that's
top
right.
you got
You barely see it on the outside of
yeah
that 6 car.
yeah. So you got Robert Stewart up there on top. Little Nasty Cogburn right there. Is the second car in line. Colton Birmingham and then Jarrett Roberts. That's in a turn at
Turn 1. It's
CBS.
turn 1. It's gonna be turn 1.
Yeah, it's got to be turn. Yeah, because there's
With
a building in the back.
Building in
Yeah,
the back.
yeah. And the whole thing about it is, how wide and fast is it that the Little Nasty car, the Cogburn car, the second one from the top, won the feature. So he got through all that mess, and that's some now that's some photography right there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that's a great. You're right. I had to look for a second to see the Colton Birmingham car.
I know. I didn't. He said 4 wide, and I sat there, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I do see a little bit of a tail right there sticking out, and that's where, for Colton Birmingham, I mean, talk about being in a hornet's nest right there. I mean, you cannot see his car, for crying out loud, and he's right there. And I'm assuming they all made it through the corner. They all made it through the corner.
That would have been the next picture that he took if they didn't make it through the corner.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he would have definitely taken a picture of that. So that is a Sugar Sean Folsom photography photo of the week, and you will catch that every week right here on #RealRaceTech. Always great stuff from him.
Yeah, it's gonna be. No, I'm still there. I was comprehending something for a second. Yeah, I've been helping him expand his sticker business using my pictures for when he's gonna go. I'll see him in person next week. We're going to a vintage toy show outside of Austin in Dripping Springs.
Oh, nice.
That's gonna be a hell of a week. It's gonna be a hell of a weekend for both of us because he is going to be at. I'm going to look and buy. I don't have. And he's going to be selling at a table, and he's driving from his home base outside of Lockhart to Dripping Springs on Saturday.
Nice.
Then he's going to turn around and go from Dripping Springs to Cotton Bowl.
Yikes.
Photography at Cotton Bowl. Go back Saturday, go back to Dripping Springs. Do all that stuff again on all day Sunday, and then go back home on Sunday night, where I am going from the home base here, just south of Austin, up to Dripping Springs. Dripping Springs back here, get changed, get loaded, down to Edna back to the morning, and then Sunday morning, late mid-morning, I'm going back to Dripping Springs and then coming back home. So,
ooh, that sounds horrible.
Yeah, it's not gonna be. It's a lot of driving. It's not gonna be fun. But I'm trying to buy stuff and sell stuff. As you can see, the people see behind me every week. I have an abundance of extra crap.
Yeah, I'm finding all kinds of things that I didn't realize that I had, just with kind of some transition.
Like this is the stuff that I have room to put out. You've seen my garage. I got so much stuff that I can't. Like I can make 5 displays behind me throughout my house, and I'm just out in the man cave here.
I'm running across stuff. I'll tell you what's actually happening right now is it's like, oh, that's where that is. Damn. Yeah, it's like I've been looking for that for 3 years, and
I had that. I know where it was.
yeah, and it's like, apparently with the way that I have stuff, it's like I would walk by it every freaking day, and somehow I would find a way to miss it. So yeah, it happens. It happens. Shit accumulates really, really fast, really, really fast. It's like a lot of times I look at stuff and I'm like, okay, and this has actually happened recently to where it's like, okay, do I want to decipher? Do I want to sort through this stuff, or do I just want to like get a match and burn it? It's like just so much shit. I'm like, I don't want to go through this.
Well, you're not gonna get rid of the archives of all the stuff that people have donated to the archive.
No, I'm not talking about for this. I mean, all that stuff is safe. I mean, are you kidding me? That's the most important stuff. I'm talking about like my personal belongings. It's like, and the worst thing is, it's like the clothes. It's like I go back to, because I think in let's just say the last 15 years, for example, I think it's been, where I've had weight fluctuations and my interests have changed to where it's like, the attire stuff, and I find stuff and I'm like, why do I have this? I mean, even like if I have to go out in public, God forbid, I go out and I'm looking for something that to wear to look presentable, and I find something and I'm like, okay, this is a nice shirt. And then I look around and it's like, well, it's a nice shirt 10 years ago. Why do I still have this? I don't get rid of that stuff. And then I put it on and either I look like a sausage casing or it's 18 sizes too big. It's like, why do I keep this stuff? I don't know. I don't know.
Can't help you. Obviously, I can't help you there with all the shit I got.
Well, this is where I go back to the match part towards like, okay, I'm gonna just catch all this shit on fire. Check this out. Checking in from the Alamo Dome is our man Brian Benedict.
Oh,
what's going on at the Alamo Dome?
What's going on at the Alamo Dome?
I don't know. Monster trucks? No, not on a
not on a Thursday night. Battle of the Bands, maybe.
Yeah,
hell, he lives in Houston.
Yeah, you'll have to tell us, Brian. What? It's not a part of San Antonio Spurs parade, for crying out loud, because they had that in New York. Do you see that mess?
Did you see the one player that almost got arrested because he's running along the side of the bus? They thought it was a fan. Come to find out, the guy played in 61 games for the Knicks and scored during the NBA Finals.
I thought about myself in that one when we had the race of champions, when it was Lawrence and Howard, and that was me. that was me when we had the night of champions. Yeah, where I'd have gotten arrested because they're like, "Who's that guy?" Yeah. That looked horrible. I heard stories today where people were like up at 3 a.m. to get down there because they were going to let you in at 6 a.m. to go to this parade that started at 10. Then they closed the subways and they locked down the streets, and it was a classic New York cluster. You know what?
Exactly. Yeah.
Here we go.
I mean, they burnt down school bus.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Learn how to act. We wouldn't have done that in San Antonio. We would have just got out there and honked our horns and done burnouts and all that other shit.
Falling out of windows and cars, doing donuts, all that
doing all that other shit to piss off the civilians. National Youth Basketball Tournament, over 1,000 teams, including their sons and daughters' teams.
Huh.
Nice.
I didn't know. I guess I didn't realize they still play basketball in the Alamo Dome when it wasn't the Final Four.
I wonder if they have it. I wonder if they have the curtain like they used to have for the Spurs.
Yeah.
Put the curtain. I got to tell you, if I'm a kid and I get to go play basketball at the Alamo Dome, that's pretty badass.
That'd be kind of fun.
Hell, I remember as a kid. Well, not as a kid, as a senior in high school, we got to go play football at Burger Stadium in Austin, and I'm like, holy shit, we're going to the Rose Bowl.
I remember probably the first time you went to Strahan Coliseum, you thought it was the biggest building you saw.
I went there for wrestling. The first time I went there for world-class wrestling at the Strahan Coliseum. Boy, there are a lot of good-looking girls there. I guess that never changes in San Marcos, right?
No, not really. That's the only advantage that school has right there.
Speaking of those late models, the modern-day version of the Rex Robbins ASA and the Bob Harmon All-Pro, the Cars Tour, Connor Jones appeared to be in full command of winning that event the other night at Dominion. Not so fast.
Yeah, it was orange or yellow and black rocket.
Yep, gets a little tied up there with Carson Brown. Then you had some Landon Huffman gets involved, and our man Jared Fryer. I was glad for Jared, only in the sense, not because he crashed. I was glad for Jared because he didn't crash his own shit. That was the only thing that I liked about that.
Yeah, but it really wasn't his fault when he crashed, so it was just collateral damage. But I mean, I'm sure his car owner's not happy. Nelson wasn't happy about that. But
Minnie Tyrell wins the Mini. Was his race, wasn't it? I guess. Yeah.
Minnie's whatever. Yeah, Minnie Tyrell.
Yeah, there you go. Good stuff there coming out of that. The last thing that I wanted to kind of get your opinion on, and pardon me here while I find it because I'd forgotten about it, and I saw that I did jot it down here. Some words from Tony Stewart, and we I think we touched on this the other day to where it's like, obviously with the passing of Kyle Busch, the tributes and so forth, where folks are starting to grasp and realize that he really wasn't the butthole that he gave the impression of being on TV, which is kind of the same thing that we thought of Dale Earnhardt. Well, Tony Stewart had some poignant words, and I'll read this off kind of at verbatim. I'll probably read the whole thing because it's a Tony Stewart quote. I guess the biggest thing in this tragedy that's happened that pisses me off the most is that now everybody wants to talk about how he was as a person. Outside of that, all they wanted to do is judge him from what they saw on TV. It's frustrating that's the way every one of us are judged by what they see on TV. And then once you die, they want to talk about how good of a person you were. That's the part that pisses me off the most right now. I think, didn't we talk about that right after this happened? Right?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
He must have caught the tail end of that show to get that take.
Yeah, it was. It had to have been. Leah Pruitt was probably listening, and he's like, "What? Wait a minute. What are they saying?" He went on to say, "The fact that they all want to learn now, they're the assholes for not taking the time to learn him and accept him for the guy he was back then. You want to wait until a guy dies, and then you care about who he was and the person. You care about who he was as a person is the part that pisses me off about everybody," says Tony Stewart, end quote. And I think he's right. I totally think he's right on that one.
I think so. I mean, well, that's just general in life. Most time people are judged, some people are judged by what they put on social media, even though they're just trying to be a badass keyboard warrior on social media.
Yeah. Well, and I think where it's like you see all the clickbait and all these different things to where it's like, I guess we saw some of the, as we've kind of gotten a little deeper into this, to where it was like Kyle Busch says that his whole estate is being left to Samantha. And it's like people were like surprised. It's like, well, where else would it go? I mean, right. There was never
a doubt in my mind that's where it was going to go.
Yeah, there was never a doubt that she was his biggest fan. She's his biggest supporter. He of her also for everything that they went through. Where the fuck else would it go?
Yeah, we're not going to go anywhere else.
Right. And it's like people are trying to make a scandal out of this thing. And it's like, I know at one point it was like,
although Biffle's his estate blaming bad craftsmanship on that plane.
Oh, that I didn't even, and that was really surprising to me because that's Nicole, right? That's, I know that was not a good ending to all of that, but it was like
it was not a very equitable split.
And then supposedly did, and that was the other part of it where these scandals come out. Wasn't it even said that she had people trying to like break into the house and get shit after he was gone?
And there's somebody broke in, but I didn't know if it was her or not. I don't remember reading that part, but that's probably not far fetched.
Oh Lord, oh man, I tell you. But yeah, with the Kyle Busch thing, why would he leave it to Sam? Well, why wouldn't he? I mean, I think if you passed away today, you'd leave your fortune to Elizabeth, wouldn't you? I mean, there's no reason why you wouldn't do that. I mean,
my fortune, yeah, well, something like that.
My debt.
Yeah, I'd leave her with something. I don't know if it's a fortune.
Yeah, it's like, here, you pay this off. Yeah, that happens too. But she's a good wife. She would do it. She would take it on. She would take it on and do that.
Actually, I have the whole house to myself all weekend.
Oh, wait a minute.
She's on a girls trip to South Carolina. I got the whole. Why do you think the extra dogs are in here tonight?
Oh, nice.
I got the whole house to myself this week for Friday night, Saturday night, and then most of Sunday.
Swinging Singles Place is going to be over at the Chaffee Hacienda coming up this weekend. So if you guys are out and about on I-35 and you want to, I can tell you guys where it's at. Hit me up and I'll send you his way. Knock anytime.
Not hard to get to.
Well, knock anytime. If he's asleep, he ain't gonna wake up. but
Big dog might wake up.
Wow, that's I mean, I didn't know that. Wow, shit. We have a World Cup watch party over there.
Yeah, maybe.
That's all right.
End up at a restaurant in Round Rock tomorrow night.
Something like that. Nothing like Chili's on a Friday night. That's what I'm talking about. San Diego coming up. I think we're about to have good fun 3 days of racing. And I say this only because as we're sitting here talking about scandals, I hope some stuff kind of goes sideways to where, you know, there's not a notebook on any of this stuff. I mean, it's a different, totally different animal than we've ever seen. I kind of hope the teams have to work for this one. I hope it gets interesting.
SVG's gonna smoke their ass.
Well, I mean, like,
look at what he did in Chicago, the first ever street race in the rain in a car that he's never been in.
Well, this is
now
where...
he's won in a car 7 times on basically a road course, a street course, over those crane railroad tracks, and then they had to repave that because the rental cars and the pace cars were jumping so high. They had to go in and repave it to flatten it out because the rental cars were jumping over the train tracks, and they had to go in and smooth it out some because they knew the race cars would be popping over that line in the air hitting.
Well, this is where I hope that somebody can get close enough to him. And it is funny to listen to where, like on NASCAR radio and so forth, when anytime there's talk about, you know, when they talk to drivers about road courses, it's always like they say whatever they say, and it's like trying to get closer to SVG. You know, it's never, it's like the benchmark. That is the standard right there, is to like just get closer. They never say to beat him. They never say anything like that. We're making up ground on Shane. It's like, God damn.
To me, so the crazy part about it is when you watch the online iRacing track view, right, of the driver's view, it doesn't look all that impressive because they got all the banners and shit up for the sponsorship and Qualcomm and all that. Like, you can't see when from the driver's seat, you can see the top of the aircraft carrier. You can see the tops of the ships. You can see that you don't get to see it. I think picture-wise and aesthetic-wise, I think it's going to be one of the most beautiful racetracks we've ever seen.
Yeah, I think so too. I do think so.
I mean, the prime booth is inside the captain's, the control room at USS Vince is where the prime race control booth is going to be, like the color booth.
I'm glad you mentioned Prime, because this is the last Prime race. I'm going to miss Prime for everybody that complains about not being able to find it. And you good call by you, because you were talking about when that new commercial came out where Junior's like, and if you don't have it, you can get a free trial for 30 days. I don't see quite as many people complaining just because he told them where to go. After people have been telling them where to go for a year and a half.
Holy shit. If you think about it, the race is sweet. You got to buy cable to watch that damn race, but you ain't going to hear people bitching about that. When it goes to USA, after in 6 races, when it pops into USA, you got to pay extra to see that shit.
Put it on one of my regular channels like the United States Network.
That's what the CW is for. And then complain because I don't have the CW in my area. Well,
but you can get the CW app. And that's where, and this, I don't want to.
It's fixing to come on ESPN too. I don't know when that starts.
I don't want to beat a dead horse, but it's like with the people where it's like, because I hear the calls as I'm driving when I hear people bitching about the streaming thing, where it's like, I can't find it. Yes, you can, but you have to try to find it. It's pretty easy to find. And then when people are like, well, I'm 75 years old and I can't find it. Well,
awesome.
I've been taught things with all of this technology by people that are 75 years old that I didn't know. You can figure this out. You can figure this out if you want to find it.
I mean, the only problem with Amazon Prime is their races this year sucked. The track that they were dealt last year, they had much better races. Like Watts, like they had Mexico City, the 600, a couple of other really, Kansas, I think, was in there. So let's see, they had the 600, and then you've got San Diego to bookend it. Then you had Pocono. Who else? What else did I miss? Where am I missing? I don't have my cheat sheet this week.
Michigan, Pocono, Indiana. No, not Indianapolis. What the hell am I thinking about? That's coming up. I'm thinking about my itinerary. Yeah. What was the other one? Pocono, Michigan.
I don't have my cheat sheet.
Yeah. I remember what the other one was. The World 600. I don't know what the other one was.
Oh, Nashville.
Oh yeah, Nashville. Well, that was a good one.
That was a good race. Yeah, Michigan and Michigan was it's whatever. Toyota benefit race. I know too many people that.
Yeah,
I watched the highlights on YouTube.
And the other part about this is to where what I love about the prime coverage is, you know, the post race and so forth. I mean, honestly, to me, to where I dig the post race. I don't need a lot of pre race because I already know all this. I've heard it all week. It's rehashed all week, everywhere, over and over and over and over. I don't need to hear all that again. I don't need a dude walking down the grid interviewing these people. I've heard from them all week. I've read about it all week. I don't need all that. The post race to me is what I think is just so impactful. And what I like honestly about with the prime stuff, the technical stuff. When Brad Keselowski sat there on the post race, by the way, a guy that raced, when that dude sat there and broke down that shit on the post race, that's what I want to hear.
Yeah, and you can't catch that there, but you won't hear. But unless NBC puts it on Peacock, that's when you get it.
Yeah, and I think that honestly, that's where a gradual move over to streaming would make more sense for NASCAR, for
because there's no way in hell they're going to race up 2 hours.
Oh no, that wouldn't
the
work.
Closest thing we've ever seen to that is when they moved the Clash up by a full day because the next day the monsoon was coming. But Fox was already scheduled to have heat races and qualifying during that window anyway.
Yeah.
But still, like to move up a race 2 hours on network TV, that ain't happening. On network TV, you might get an hour, and then on the sports TVs, FS1s, USAs, TNTs, you might get 30 minutes.
And where I think that this weekend coming up, as special as all this is going to be there at Coronado, where I think it's going to suck. I mean, I think that we saw some of the numbers come out today for the for the race, for the Pocono race, and they were down. But again, you know, they talk about moving the race up, and this is where I go back to the people, to the race fans, to where it's like, okay, you want the noon races, boom, there you go. You had plenty of time. They gave you a day. They gave you a day ahead of time, not on a holiday weekend, to let you know that it's in that window that you want it to be. But the numbers were down. But I get it. I totally get that. But I do think that we're not maybe going to get the numbers that we think this race should give us, because one, it's going to be on streaming, and there's all that hiccup. But you've got the World Cup. You've got the U.S. Open is happening also. The U.S. Open is just going to blow numbers out of the water with golf. So I think that's going to hurt a little bit of it.
4th of July. They should.
Hey,
have done this 4th of July.
Yeah. Well, I'm not complaining this year because I'll be at Chicagoland. So, but I think that would, especially this year with that venue and the 250th.
Like it should, there's no reason why does it need to be Father's Day weekend? It needed to be 4th of July.
Yeah,
and I've said that since they announced it. That's not a new take for me. That's not a hot take. Like that, I've been on that wagon. I've been on that train since they announced the race. I was like, it should be 4th of July.
That might have been. I don't know what happens at that naval base. I mean, maybe with that holiday. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's a security thing. I don't even want to think about that, where you have all these people that are going to be gathered.
Oh, no, it's a pain in the ass just to get on the West Point for a football game. I can only imagine what it's going to be like, dude, having to check all those IDs on an active military installation.
Dude, we have a crew that's going there to work that event, and in our line of work, one of the most important things that you need is a box cutter or some sort of something with a knife. They can't take that in there. So it's like, damn, that's that precise. So it's going to be a lot. It's a huge undertaking. And the teams, I did hear today that NASCAR's being a little more, exercising a little more flexibility with this West Coast trip with cars and backup cars and all that. But I just think it's going to be a spectacular event. I
can't wait to watch that truck race at St. Pete open up the season. Was a hell of a race, and I think that it's going to have a chance to do that tomorrow.
Well, in that one, you've got, I mean, Jimmy Johnson's in that one. I think Jimmy Johnson back in a vehicle that he's more comfortable in, you know, where he doesn't have a sequential shifter and all this other stuff. I am totally fired up about the truck race tomorrow. I
Jamie
can't wait
Max
for
in
that
one of the
son a bitch.
Dodges.
Jamie McMurray, yeah. Brendan Gaughan, is he racing tomorrow? Yeah. No, I think that's going to be a hell of a race tomorrow. So that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 days of action in San Diego, and you can catch it. Well, no, Sundays on Prime.
Sundays on Prime. Tomorrow, truck race is at 6:00 Central on FS1. I don't the practice and stuff may be on FS2, but they're showing FS1 is showing IndyCar practice instead of truck qualifying and practice.
Man, I'll tell you the crappy part about tomorrow, that board meeting we're talking about having, it ain't going to be on where we're going.
The only thing going to be on World Cup.
Shit. I might have to call a timeout on that
one.
Because I do want to see
that. That's what I was. That's why I was like, can we do lunch? They're like, no.
You know, those guys, come on, man. They have a job. Forget that.
They don't have that flexibility. Another holiday tomorrow.
Oh man, Father's Day weekend, friends. Don't forget about Father's Day. I mean, that's our sport right there. I mean, it's sons and fathers and why does Father's Day not get the love that Mother's Day does? To where it's like when the mothers, you're going to do all these fancy things, and for the dads, you're going to buy a pair of socks, a fishing lure, a tie. Why is the dad holiday just kind of like?
I don't know. Dad's the one that does it anyway. He's not gonna let mom fire up the grill and do the steaks.
Burn the house down.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. If San Diego wasn't happening, I'd go play some golf. Actually, that's not the day, friends. That is not the day to go to the golf course because all the other dads are going to be out there too. So don't do that. Don't do that. Fun program. Blame Mark Graff, Caitlin Leonard. Good stuff as we roll into No South Texas Racing. And this is that's why I was double checking with you during the week. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Everybody raced last week. I know the Race Ranch was supposed to race. And for those of you that have messaged me asking the Race Ranch, message them. They're being very transparent with everything that's going on. They are truly working to get the place in order. From everything that I've heard, this was like a storm event that came through and did a hell of a lot of damage. So they're working to get the place put back together, and they will be back this year. They're going to be back, I think, later this month in June or July. Yeah. Shit. Damn. We're already in this. Yeah. So, message them. I mean, there's no, again, like to the whole scandal thing, that there's nothing happening here. This is an act of nature, is everything that I've been able to comprehend.
I think so. I mean, that's pretty accurate from everything that I've seen, everything I've been told. So,
yep, absolutely. So hopefully we have them back in the mix very, very soon. All right, dude. I think we've got our weekends all lined out. We'll do this again next week. Pretty flexible next week. I'm home for a couple of weeks before I disappear for quite a while. So, we'll do this again. Fun program.
And you never know who's going to be on. Just know that it's always going to be live.
Yeah. And that's why on the socials, I mean, unless something is like truly confirmed and it's been really set out, that's kind of when you'll see on there X date, so-and-so, because I mean, you know how this happens. I mean, things come up, whatever. There was actually somebody else that we thought we were going to get to talk to tonight where something had popped up. But, hey, you got Caitlin Leonard. So everything worked out well.
It did. For a last minute edition. I mean, it was her idea. She told me at the track that she'd come on and talk about it. I just don't think she expected to come on and talk about it this soon, that fast.
Yep, absolutely. And we will definitely talk to her again to kind of get an update on how everything's going. Hello, Boston Perez. Hi, buddy. See, worldwide,
live, yeah,
worldwide. Not at the New York Knicks parade. All right, friends. Do you know me? Oh man, when I get these, I'm like, should I? That's like that knock at the door, right?
I'm assuming he's talking to you because I don't know.
Yeah, it's that. Do you know me? Should I? That's it. That's one of the things. Like when I'm out in public, are you Rodney Rodriguez? I'm like, who's asking?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like who's asking. All right, friends. Thank you for being a part of the program. Be sure and hit the socials and subscribe to that YouTube page. We kind of got some momentum happening right there. You can catch all of the replays, everything there. RevvedUpSportsShow.com. Check the Facebook page is probably the place for the best content updates, all of that good stuff. So be sure and check that out. All right, Robert, have a good weekend, my man. I may see you tomorrow, or maybe I won't.
We'll see what happens. I got a feeling they're going to want to do it at the same time that truck race is going to happen, that meeting. So,
look here.
oh, well, I guess it was for me. Yeah.
Bettis, is this? Well, I'm saying it right. I'm saying Bettis. I race at Texana Raceway Park. All right, now we're trying to figure this out. I don't think is this part of the Gilbert Bettis group?
Maybe a go. I can't see the icon.
I don't know. Yeah, it's I can't see it either. We'll figure it out. All right, friends. We'll catch you next week, Monday or Tuesday, probably. Maybe
Tuesday, maybe Wednesday.
I don't know. Check the socials. Hashtag Real Race Talk, friends. Have a great rest of the week. He's Showtime Bobby Chaffee down south. I'm Rodney Rodriguez up north. We will catch you soon for more. Hashtag Real Race Talk. Be well, friends.